Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today with another Saturday night main event coming at you. This one we're going to be covering Saturday night's main event 17, which took place October 25th, 1988. These, of course, were pretty much pay-per-views for wrestling fans. Back in the day, they took place on NBC. You just had to stay up late. They started at 11:30 on Saturday night. It took place in the normal time slot of Saturday Night Live. I'm catching wind of basically what they're doing. They ran two of them earlier in the year, kind of hyping up WrestleMania 4. These ones happen in October. The next one happens in November, hyping up Survivor Series. The next one is actually going to take place pretty much like a week before Survivor Series 1988. So these are big deals. I mean, if you were not following Primetime on a weekly basis or watching Wrestling Challenge, you have to see these to know what you're going to have to be paying for in the next WWE pay-per-view. This show honestly opened up with one of the biggest matches that they could put on here. This match is easily a match. So when you ask people about the Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick Rude feud, people probably thought this was a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam deal. Of course, this whole feud was set up by Ravishing Rick Rude coming down to the ring, doing his normal gigolo routine, where basically he just picks any woman he wants, knowing that they're going to want him. He just happened to pick Cheryl Roberts, Jake the Snake Roberts' wife, and she wanted nothing to do with Rick Rude. Rick Rude became infatuated with her, basically put her face on his tights, where, it first was revealed by him pulling them down, and these guys going at it. This is a very good, memorable feud that I think took place over a good period of time in WWF. These guys wanted to hurt each other. This match that was in the ring basically seemed like it was more than just a wrestling match. Normal chain of events lead to Bobby the Brain Heenan jumping into the ring, protecting Ravishing Rick Rude, being able to continue this feud. More than likely, they'd be able to put it as the main event on a B show, on the house show loop out there. Hogan's probably making a movie at this point, because he's not even the champion. Randy Savage is carrying the strap. Savage would probably be main eventing the main show, and these guys would be going off and doing the other show, being able to support two shows on one night, making Vince a good chunk of change right there. But Jake the Snake Roberts picks up the win via disqualification. We don't really get a real winner in this deal, but if you go back and watch a lot of 80s wrestling, a lot of the big matches ended protecting somebody, where there really was a lot of disqualifications and things like that. But the match, really, really good. It almost rates up there with what would happen later in wrestling with the Matt Hardy versus Edge deal, where these guys just did not like each other. And they portrayed it really, really well. From there, we're going to go to Demolition, the champions going up against the Hart Foundation, the former champs. The Hart Foundation had dumped Jimmy Hart as their manager. Jimmy, looking for some sort of retribution for being dumped to the curb, offered his services to Demolition. Demolition already being managed by Mr. Fuji, a real imposing tag team, probably already scary enough as it is, and now you add Jimmy Hart to the mix, makes them even more I don't know what the word is, but I guess you can say scary. How are you going to be able to beat this team? And they got two managers on the outside. The match from the very beginning, Demolition jumps on Anvil and they beat him down. But as the Hart Foundation gained the advantage, we have not the Quebecers, because the Quebecers are the Mountie dudes. The French guys from the 80s. What the hell was their name? One of them went on to become a freaking announcer. They got the little flags. Son of a bitch. I just watched this show 5 minutes ago. The last two ones, I waited almost a week before I made the video. But they come out there. They throw Jimmy Hart's megaphone into the ring. Demolition ends up using it, knocking him out in order to get the win. And they go on from there. The Hart Foundation would probably go on to have a feud with them. Demolition probably going to go off in another direction with another team out there. Just a way to end that feud. From there we go to Hulk Hogan. Coming out with Miss Elizabeth. He's going to fight King Haku. Just back in March, we had on Saturday night's main event, we had Hulk Hogan going up against King Harley Race. King Harley Race in that match lost to Hulk Hogan. I put up the argument, why was Hulk Hogan not the King of the Ring? But Harley Race ended up being injured. He hurt something in his stomach. Most people blame it to the table spot in that match. And they actually had a ceremony where Harley Race gave the crown to Haku, making him King Haku. He was previously in a tag team, and he ended up going as a singles wrestler with Bobby the Brain Heenan. This of course would last just a little while. Come January at the Royal Rumble, King Harley Race would come back, ask for his crown back. Haku didn't want to give it to him, so they had a match at the Royal Rumble that King Haku actually ends up winning. And Harley Race's days in the WWF are pretty much numbered after that. But in this match, Hulk Hogan and Haku are going at it. At one point, the fight goes to the outside. They gets up knocking out Bobby Heenan. Haku goes over to sort of like try to get him back up and into the match because he's going to need him for some sort of a cheating technique there. Hulk just rolls out to the outside, grabs the crown from the ring announcer, puts it on in the ring, and comes in there and poses. It's like he honestly, 23 years later, would be watching my video and being like, he beat Harley Race 1, 2, 3 in the ring. Why is he not the King of the Ring? So for the night, he's King of the Ring. But we get the big boot and the leg drop. Hulk Hogan beats King Haku yet again, not becoming the King of the Ring. Kind of a short match, only about 6 minutes. Normal Hogan affair. But all in all, pumped to see Hogan on the TV. From there we go to the build-up of one of the worst heels in my mind in the world of wrestling that actually got a good run in the WWF, Dino Bravo. I never liked this guy as a singles wrestler. I never liked him when he was kind of the muscle behind Earthquake as kind of like the hype man, even though Jimmy Hart was there. I didn't understand why. It was almost like Earthquake surpassed Dino Bravo. They wanted Dino Bravo to be the main event. Earthquake was his muscle. And somehow he just got passed up. Frenchy Martin, one of the worst forgotten about managers of all time. Not a fan. But they went up against Ken Patera, basically a squash match. Bravo ends up getting the win. And they're going to be making him look strong because I think they really had big plans for him. He's a big, muscled up dude. French from Canada. And somewhere along the line, it went south. He lost his push. I don't think he was working in WWF when he was murdered. I'm pretty sure he was out. I don't know how he got his release, how he got out, but the story is that he was involved in the Canadian mafia, selling cigarettes from America or something like that to get around the tax on cigarettes in Canada. I remember it from, I think it was on Unsolved Mysteries or America's Most Wanted. Somebody did a story on it back in the day, and that's basically where I heard about him getting shot in the back of the head when he was sitting in his recliner, and people say it was a mafia hit, something like that. But from there we go to the Jobbers of Job. The last match was a squash match. This was a squash match, even faster. Jim Powers appears on Saturday night's main event. This is a match, honestly, to make the Big Boss Man look good. The Big Boss Man had attacked on Brother Love Show, had attacked Hulk Hogan. I think what they're doing is they're building up the Hulk Hogan versus Big Boss Man cage match that we would see on Saturday night's main event. Is it on the next one? No. It's in 2, so we're going to see it at 19 in December. So they're going to run these 3 months in a row. They're going to be building it up for another month. But they're building up Hulk Hogan versus the Big Boss Man. One of the first cage matches that I saw as a kid. Really, really good. But in this match, Boss Man just beats Jim Powers. Jim Powers on a pay-per-view. I think maybe he was at a Survivor Series or they just needed a guy. Other than that, I mean, this is probably the biggest match Jim Powers has ever been on. The match lasts 2.5 minutes. It's over by the time they ring the bell. Boss Man and Slick celebrate. They head back to the back. From there we go to an interview with Jesse Ventura. During the Jake the Snake Roberts and Rick Rude match, Andre the Giant had gotten involved. He was still a wrestler. He was still feared, but he was getting bigger. I think they were starting to use him less. A big storyline that we see on these shows as we watch, 1988 Saturday Night's Main Events is that he was a part of the Heenan family. He was coming in and just getting involved. Jesse Ventura was making jokes that Andre the Giant was carrying a manager's card so he could be ringside. He came down to the ring to basically attack Jake Roberts after the match had been disqualified. Jake the Snake ends up pulling the snake out. And during the fight, Jake was actually able to get the snake onto Andre. This is the Andre Fears gift that you see so much on Twitter with him trying to no, I don't want none of the snake. And he actually passed out from being scared of the snake. In the back is Jesse is interviewing him. He's basically saying that he's not afraid of snakes and that he knows he can beat Jake Roberts. You would think at the next Saturday Night's Main Event, we're going to be seeing Jake the Snake Roberts against Andre the Giant. I don't know I think that takes place at WrestleMania 5. I'm pretty sure. Andre and Haku with the titles. They're the tag champs, WrestleMania 6. I'm pretty sure. I know what I was saying. I lost track there. I apologize. And I'm still trying to figure out who the heck that tag team's name is. The Rougeau brothers. Only about 10 minutes late there. But basically, Andre's basically saying he's not afraid of snakes. You would be thinking that they're setting up a Jake the Snake Roberts versus Andre the Giant match. That match is actually not going to happen on Saturday Night's Main Event coming up. It actually is Andre against Macho Man, probably because they need somebody to make Macho Man look good, and it is a really good match. It's featured on a lot of DVDs. I know it's on the Best of Saturday Night's Main Event that I still need to look at and cover. I know that it's on the Macho Man DVD, probably more than likely. I don't think it's on that older Andre one, but I bet you if I looked at that Andre documentary, if they put matches on there, I bet it's on there. It's not one of the biggest, but it's probably one of the best Andre matches. Definitely one of the last really good matches of his career that he had. So that's the end right there. We'll look at Saturday Night's Main Event 19, which ends up happening November 16th, and it took place in Sacramento, California. Wish I can tell you that I was there, but I was not. I don't know where 7-year-old Stevie Breach was in 1988, but I wish my dad would have known tickets were on sale. More than likely, probably in 89 is when I start going to shows. Definitely by 90, I'm going. Really can't remember my first show, but I can definitely remember the matches that I remember the most are like Hogan versus Earthquake, Hogan versus Slaughter, Undertaker versus Yokozuna. I got some good memories of going to Arca Arena, and the next one happens there, so we'll go over as many as I can remember. But like I said, the next one, I'm not there, but it's special to me because Arca Arena, Sacramento. Peace out.